just hear me out, because I wrote all this on a piece of paper, but I took some screenshots too, and then I started really thinking to myself and just really hear me out. You got, I want to talk about Venus. Okay, that's the planet, that's the brightest star up there. Besides like the sun, you got Venus. Everyone knows what planet that is. When you look up, you can literally see it. It is so bright. And then you have the sun, right? So Venus's real name is Lucifer, aka Lucy. And I've always said that I'm from planet Venus. I've been saying this from the get. I can remember my past lives. I just know this inside my soul. And like, remember coming up, I would tell people like, oh, coming up out the water, and just like different stages of different life. I don't even need to get into that. Like, I just know what I know. So then Venus, aka Lucy, aka Lucifer, you know, they say that Lucy's the first woman here. But then you also have Lilith, who was born out of Gaia, just like Adam, because that was Adam's first wife, and because she would not bow down to man, he then made Eve out of his rib. You know, I'm still trying to figure out the rest of that story, but the sun equals star. It's supposed to be a star. And the sun equals Jesus. So then it talks about the bringer of light, which we would call our sun, but they also called Lucifer the bringer of light, even in the Bible, where it like, you're questioning yourself. You're like, wait a second, okay? So then if Venus and Lucifer and the sun and Jesus are all the same, I'm like, this is sounding pretty interesting. So then I just thought to myself, I was like, oh, hold up. Because I got, Lucy, Lucifer, Venus, Morning Star, Jesus. But and then I just said, say the sun died because it's fake. The bringer of light would be Venus, the bright star. So why wouldn't she drop down to tell you the truth in spiritual form? Whether that's now, in the future, or in the past, because they're all happening the same. It's the Trinity. It's all happening at once. And there's a lot of Trinities in this, and it's just like so funny. So then I drew out the picture, and it was the earth. I'll just take a picture so you can see it, but the earth, and then it was like the moon here, the sun here, and then I put all these little dots. And I'm like, if we're all the same, because earth is a celestial body, the sun is a celestial body, the moon is a celestial body, and then you got all the planets that are celestial bodies and stars. So my question is, how come if we all, well, if they all look the same, then why is there two things in the sky that don't look like the other stars? But technically, the sun is a star too. And so, like, it just really started to make me think that both are fake as fuck. And that sounds pretty fucking crazy, but just bear me out. We don't know which sun we seeing, because during which time did they pull a fast one on us, first of all? I mean, y'all literally believed the moon landing. Yeah, exactly. So, and they tried to get us to believe that. And we were like, so basically our parents are dumb. Now, here's like how I pictured it, because I know something's coming up out that sky. It says in the Bible that it turns to sackcloth black. Why? Because the sun is going to die. Now, this is where it gets super funny. This is where I'm like, okay, so science tells us that when a star dies, aka the sun, because it's a freaking star, that it blows up, and it would take about like 8 minutes for us to like realize what had happened and go through the whole process, and then it would like turn into, you'd have to look at the processes of a dying star, but it could turn it, our star would turn into a black hole because it's like a super red giant or something like that. Okay, I've been looking at this stuff for a long time. Now, why would it just turn like black? Which I could say, I could see if you're saying like black and it went into a black hole, but that's just not the case that's going to happen because we get like sucked in and all this other stuff. So this is the funny thing where I was like, what's happening? Why? Just answer me one question. Why is China building a sun? For why? For who? Like, y'all are already saying global warming is an issue, so it's not like they're going to throw another sun up there with another sun. But they are going to throw up another sun after that one in the sky dies. And this whole thing just feel like a whole, like, made-up situation. Like, what the fuck has been going on this whole time where we've been just, like, in my head, like, duped. Like, punked. Just, we believe this whole time that was real. And I don't understand like how they matched up everything in our head just to make everything fucking like backwards, and we're living in an upside down world, and I don't exactly like it, you know? So I feel like when we stop giving the sun energy, I've said this before, it's on my Instagram, like, it's gonna die, and then it's gonna turn black, and it's gonna fall into the ocean. Okay, the sun is going to fall into the ocean, and I feel like that's what we used to be too. Like, it just keeps on like basically like mutating itself, which is like so weird. But I feel it's weird because like if something as above so below, right? So like the sun's up here and it falls into our ocean here, and as it cools down, it probably has some type of inside of the sun. I'm guessing it's a hollow sun, and whenever it falls down and it starts to cool, it'll create a terrarium. And with the water that is melting from Antarctica and all the glaciers, so like that's what's gonna like basically help with the flood, because the water is going to fill up this big old tank. Like, think about how big the sun is falling into the fucking ocean. Like, good God. So after that all dies down, literally, you know, some of that water will go in. And with all the stuff that it's taken in with it, like, that's probably why they say it's a black hole, because it's going to be some crazy stuff going on. And this water is just going to it's going to be worse than the Titanic. It's going to be so crazy. But just think about, like, if they're like, oh, a meteor hit the earth. But it's really not. It's a man-made item hitting the earth, and we're not all going to die. Chill. But this is probably how they tricked us. Like, we get scared to death thinking something that's man-made falling out the sky so that they could put up a new one. But whenever they put up a new one, it's literally them putting it up. China throwing up that fake sun, and then we just think that life all of a sudden started over. Let's do this all again. Fuck no. No. You're not going to do me this time. I feel like that's exactly what's about to happen. That's probably like the real bigger picture. And it's going to be so crazy because then, okay, so we got the whole fake sun up in the ocean, right? But now that sun that was fake turns into real because it mixes with everything that's already here on Earth, including all of our cells, everybody that's here. And how water basically gets recycled through all these years. And as stuff starts to grow down there, it's literally going to be like a whole nother world. Plus, that's basically like what we're in, which is so crazy. It's so crazy. I can't even explain to you. And then since we know, where we'll be the ones to like know who's in there, and that's gonna be the new life. That's gonna create so much more different life forms you won't even believe. And those are your aliens, but we already have aliens here too. But they're not aliens. I don't even like that name. I totally get where was it Demi Lovato that was like, don't call them aliens or something? I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that. But it's kind of freaking rude because like it's literally our family, and just because they don't have the same looking fleshly bodies as us, they're gonna be like, oh, like, that shit is crazy. That's crazy. To me, it's literally like looking at, somebody that's darker than I or lighter than I and saying, we're not the same. What? I mean, we all came from fucking source. And then it's funny because it's like, oh, we come from light. We come from the sun. Probably because that same method, like, came to us back then whenever I fell out the sky. But I don't feel like I was a fake sun because I know I wasn't made with a computer. That's the only thing. Like, and water like totally kills electronics, So I feel like that's what turns off the sun. Like it going into the ocean. Like if you've ever dropped your phone into the ocean, then and if the sun is some type of big ass fucking computer falling into the ocean, when a plane crashes, there's always like that black box. I bet you the sun really does fucking store energy. Oh, if my arm was really jiggling, I would be so mad. But that means it would store energy. Anything around us like stores energy, just like how this is recording all my freaking daily moves. If the sun is recording all of our daily fucking moves, all that shit will be like basically stored in the iCloud. And then it drops down, so that iCloud will give information to the new breed and species from microorganisms that are thawing from the water. It's just going to be so crazy. And then this is why people will look different from us. There could be a whole, they could have recorded this, but now it's just going to be thought. There won't be no sight. So it'd be like somebody telling you to draw something out. Now, say they put you and your husband, and they were like, I want you to draw a picture of your wife. And then they'd be like, I want you to draw a picture of yourself. The picture would look completely different, right? That's just one way of looking at it. So our picture of it and then their picture is going to look different. So if we draw a human on paper, we're going to draw this little 5-stick figured, and they're going to draw something. But say like you didn't have something to even have a recollection of, like say it's not your wife, you're just listening, like draw a circle. And so you're trying to like find something that is a circle. So then down yonder, they're gonna grow something that's the shape of a circle, and it be like an orange. And then that thought's gonna be like that thing, orange, grapefruit, whatever, that's a circle. And they're also gonna have like to be able to talk to each other and be like, this is what you look like, because there's like no mirrors right now. And trying to put that onto paper and then turning it to human form for their species. So we've been doing this a very, very long time, and it'd be like me saying, oh, and then I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you'll just have to see it with your eyes, because they're going to create a whole world that is similar to ours, but not exactly. And they get to do whatever they want with it. And we'll just be like, cool, coming in and out, checking. I don't know as far like down, like since this stuff goes so deep, this is just a what if question, I guess, basically.